Let's turn to Senator Shelby, the ranking member.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Madam Chairman, I have two articles. One appeared in the Tuesday's Globe and Mail in Toronto regarding the space program, and and one appeared in Florida today, and I'd like to ask that they be made part of the record.
Without objection. And
I would like to quote just a little from first Tuesday's Globe and Mail about the Obama plan. This plan, basically, they say, and I'll paraphrase, U.S. President Barack Obama has lowered the ambition of America. Under the Obama plan, space is not the final frontier, Earth is. That's part of the article. Under the Florida Today article, appeared April the 16th, says Obama doesn't get it. Space is last frontier. President Obama, in effect, pulled the plug on our space program in a speech here Thursday, talking about in Florida, although he masked it with some vague long-term suggestions. The late President John F. Kennedy must have turned over in his grave. JFK launched the moon landing program in the 60s because he understood that any nation that wants to remain number one on Earth must also be number one in space. A couple of questions. It's my understanding, Mr. Administrator, that there's been a lot of internal discussion at NASA regarding how to circumvent the fiscal year 2010 language that limits NASA's ability to terminate or to alter the current Constellation program. Given the importance of this issue, we need to understand here in the committee the legality of the decisions NASA is making related to the program of record, especially in view of legislation. Could you provide to this committee, the Appropriations Committee over you, within the next week, a letter and the decision documents from NASA's General Counsel regarding NASA's interpretation of the 2010 appropriations language and the applicability of the Anti-Deficiency Act? Could you do that?
I will do that, sir.
Okay. Has NASA sought any guidance from the Department of Justice on this, and if so, what was their legal opinion? Could you?
Sir, I will submit that for the record in the
committee.
Just in summary, the discussion with the Department of Justice had to do with potential termination liability, as the chairwoman was, Madam Chair was talking.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I want to get into the Ares 1 versus the Falcon 9.
Yes.
General Bolden, it's my understanding that you have stated to congressional members that you think Ares and Orion are no safer than the Falcon 9 and Dragon capsule. However, according to a July 2009 independent safety review of rocket options initiated by NASA, the Valador report states that the Ares 1 launch vehicle, quote, is clearly the safest launch vehicle option and that it is superior to all other options. What information do you have that validates the safety of the Falcon 9? And if you have it, would you furnish it to the committee?
Sir, we will get what information we have, but my comment to people over the last week has been that, specifically when asked by Senator Hatch earlier, my gut tells me that, Ares would be safer than anything else, but that's not what the data says.
But you'll furnish this to the
I will furnish the data,
no,
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The new capsule plan. The latest plan restructures the Orion capsule so that it will be, as we understand, it will be nothing more than a space station escape pod. I fail to see how this escape pod will lessen our reliance on other nations for our access to space. We're still going to pay the Russians for a round trip. We're going to pay for a commercial rocket and capsule, and we will now pay to build our own return vehicle. Explain this to me.
Sir, the restructuring of the Orion program is actually it's my desire that it be an incremental approach to develop a vehicle that will one day take us to the moon and Mars and beyond low Earth orbit. We need to have a domestically produced capability to get crews back and forth to the International Space Station, and the original version that the President talked about last week would be a vehicle that we could get there much quicker than anyone else because we don't have to human rate it for ascent. We would send it to space just on any launch vehicle, but it would be rated to comply with the visiting vehicle requirements and rated for human rating for entry, descent, and landing.
General Bolden, if commercial, the route is truly the route, that you're headed, wouldn't it be cheaper and wiser to just use a Dragon capsule for this purpose?
Senator, it would be cheap. We hope it would be cheaper and wiser, and that is our long-range intent. The first use of the Orion, a restructured Orion, is because we think we can get it there in 3 years. So that gives us a domestically produced return vehicle on the International Space Station in 3 years. It also relieves some of the pressure from the commercial vendors to try to deliver a vehicle that has the human-rated capability in a shorter period of time.
General, you're a 4-time veteran of space flights as an astronaut, and each time you arrive safely home, thank God. You've also been a member of the Aerospace Safety Advisory Panel, a group that was founded to help ensure the safety of our astronauts. Of all the possible people to lead NASA on its missions of human exploration, you are more than qualified to understand the role of safety. Now you appear to be deliberately choosing to ignore safety concerns from the very people at NASA that you entrusted your life with, and you came home 4 times. Could you explain to the committee and the people at NASA who made the United States such a leader in space for 50 years why you, as the administrator, are ignoring their record, basically, they claim, of safety and engineering excellence?
Are you referring to the ASAP, sir?
I'm talking about the overall safety program.
Oh, I am not ignoring the inputs of anyone from the safety program. My conscience.
They believe you are.
If you ask Brian O'Connor, who is my conscience, he is my director of safety and mission assurance. Brian, I think, will tell you that I listen to him every day. John Frost is going to come up, and I think John Frost will tell you that I listen to him every day. And we are decidedly looking at everyone's concerns on safety, and that's why I can assure everybody that before we put a human in a vehicle and launch them off this planet, we're going to have the safest possible vehicle. I am a safety professional. It is my life. It is in NASA's core values, and there are not a lot of other companies in the country that can say that safety is one of their core values.
But you benefited from it 4 times, did you not?
I flew 4 times, and I had every confidence in the world that I was going to return safely to Earth, and that's going to be the case with every astronaut that I launch, whether they're on a privately produced vehicle, a foreign produced vehicle, or any other vehicle.
That's not the message that's being received at NASA right now. Thank you, Madam Chair.